What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Dr. Symone Josey, and this is the Empowerment Perspective Podcast. Thanks for joining us on this particular episode. We sit down with new member, Miss Jamie Roberts, and we have a discussion with my daughter, who makes an appearance, about some of the things that she has going on and how she prepares for school. So sit back and enjoy.
I would teach them how to advocate for themselves in those last 24 hours, how to speak up for themselves if they see something right, if they see something wrong, if something's not working out for them. Speaking up for yourself is a big thing, and I don't think that we cover that enough in the classroom.
It's the Empowerment Perspective Podcast, hosted by Symone Josey and Mr. Kareem Spence. Stay empowered. All right, welcome to the Empowerment Perspective Podcast. I go by the name of Dr. Symone Josey alongside
Spence is here.
Mr. Petty.
Absolutely.
It was nice to meet your family.
Yes.
And I don't think they know how petty you are.
I think that they have a consensus of how things are going to start going differently now that I'm here.
We got to get your family on, and I want them to go in on you, really, really go in on. Like the family I met when we went to Atlantic City was on the rooftop. That's who I need on the podcast, so the world could really
my brother and my sister.
Yes, because I heard some stories on there that could be great material for this podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, my family is full of characters, and if you get enough wine in them, all kind of stories will start to come out. So it's sort of like NRA show, and he has his show. He brings on all these stories to start coming out, and but yeah, my family is unique. It's fun, and just like my cousin said, we always got each other's back. Right, wrong, going different.
Unique. I mean, I'm always at all because my family on my side is real small, and we tried to have a family reunion. It was in West Philly, middle of summer. There was no air conditioning. The cheese melted. I'm going home.
That's right. You got frustrated somebody.
So I'm always in awe with people that have big families. Like my wife has a big family that have cousins she doesn't know and haven't met. So what I try to do with our kids is that me and my brothers, we do a cousins reunion. So we get all the kids to get together and they spend some time because they will know that they're cousins. Like even my daughter has cousins she probably hasn't met to this point, which is a beautiful thing. My family is really, really small. So anytime that I see families get together and embrace each other and support each other, it's kind of foreign to me a little bit.
Well, here's the thing is that it's so many of them that I'm on the other side of the hotel. They actually bought out the entire first floor, the other wing.
They knew you was petty. Put him back there.
Put him on
in the D section.
I'm even surprised they even found the room. How far they had to walk to get here.
That is funny. So yeah, it was good. We down here in the Double Tree. We're in Jersey, keeping it local. Live at the barbecue part too. So, but we have a special guest on this one.
Yes,
she was a little shy. She pretended to be shy anyway. She said she was nervous.
And she's small.
Small ain't the word. Somebody that I worked with, and she went to another building, came back, and probably one of the best teachers that I've had an opportunity to work with. So we definitely appreciate you being on here. Miss Roberts, how are you?
I'm good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And you don't have your shirt on.
I don't.
She is now part of the Empowerment Perspective. I mean, she gave us so much information for our trip down to Atlanta. We didn't use it, but just know that you gave us a whole lot of information. So what was it that you shared with me? That stuff. What was that called?
All of the different types of English, hyperbole, idioms. Yes. You use that?
We didn't have an opportunity.
We ran out of time.
We could have easily
figurative language.
Figurative language.
Yes.
So yes, he pulled up. Actually, we used a little bit of because when I put the lyrics and stuff up there, we were getting to that point, and then of course we ran out of time. But there's so much that we could talk about on how to reach and teach specific populations in schools and things. What are some of the things that you do in your classroom to try to, let's go this way. First days of school is about to come. What are some of the first things that you attempt to do?
The most important thing for me to do the first few days of school is talk to the students and figure out what they like to do, how they like to learn in the classroom. Are you a hands-on learner? Are you an auditory learner? Do you like to move around the classroom when you learn? And then once I figure out how they see themselves, that's how I build my school year.
Got you. One of the things we talked about, and actually Kareem came up with a great question for our presentation, is if you had 24 hours left, and to teach, and that was it. And that was your last 24 hours of teaching. What would you teach your kids?
I would teach them how to advocate for themselves in those last 24 hours, how to speak up for themselves if they see something right, if they see something wrong, if something's not working out for them. Speaking up for yourself is a big thing, and I don't think that we cover that enough in the classroom.
And what we found when we asked that question was that none of it had anything to do with the curriculum.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, to a point, like, well, what's the point of teaching the curriculum if we're saying that this is important? So why are we wasting the time doing all this other stuff in the classroom? So the responses that we got was pretty interesting. I mean, a lot of it was, teaching them empathy and teaching them, life skills and things of that nature. And I always said that what we teach in school is, and we say we're preparing them for the real world. We're not doing that whatsoever. I mean, the educational system and the real world are two separate entities. So it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I like when we showed them the video of the Muppets with the MOP. And I think that was really an eye opener for them because they have these perspectives because Ernie and Elmo's really cute, but you start hearing Elmo and Big Bird talking about they want to rob people. Now it's not so cute anymore.
Right.
But
that was interesting because everyone was looking at it like they was like laughing and like, oh, it's cute and and then we played the real video and all of a sudden the perception completely changed. So it was really, really interesting, the perspective that they
shout out to Keely who continues to allow us to be as creative as we can. So I mean, she doesn't put any caps or limits and say you guys can't do that. I mean, it seems like every time we go down there we pretty much push the bar and see how far it's going to be before they say, you know what, you guys just don't come back.
But she keeps inviting us back, so shout out to them, her and Innovative School Summit. We'll be down in San Antonio in November. We have the opportunity to go to Vegas and of course back down to the A, but we're going to definitely hopefully hit up some more things around this area pretty soon as far as educators are concerned. We have our financial literacy program that we got under the way.
Yeah, shout out to Dr. Graham who worked diligently on that.
So basically that program, what we're doing is the kids will take a survey and they will get assigned a job or a career, and they'll get a salary, and we'll take out stuff, the taxes, FICA, and all that stuff comes out of their check, so they know what that means. And then they have to go around and purchase certain things, like they have to get housing, they have to get a car, insurance, and all that stuff. We even we're gonna call it the wheel of pettiness.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I am gonna have my input, and whatever's going on in my life at the time, what's going on the board. Absolutely.
So they can spend it, they can hit the lottery for a couple bucks, or their car can break down, or trunk, you're gonna cost them $400.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Everything that happened in Korea.
In my life, absolutely. Yes. Then you will get a $500 food bill. So we went to the rooftop, part 2. This was like 3 weeks ago. Right, we went there for my brother and my sister's birthday. Right, so I already knew I was gonna pick up the bill for them. Right, when they bought me the bill, it was 2 of them. The bill was $370. That's what the bill was. People just kept ordering stuff on my tab. I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous.
Put it all in. So if you go out and you see Kareem out, make sure you put it on his tag because he got you. But now the financial literacy piece is coming out, and then at the end, they meet with a financial advisor to go over how they spend their money and things of that nature. So it's built for middle school kids, but we can adapt it to high school kids as well. I'm actually bringing it to my elementary school. So make sure if you're interested in your educator, make sure you hit us up at theempowermentperspective.com, and we can definitely get that program out to you for sure. So we have my daughter also on the show today, and we have our little show. What's the name of our show that we are working on?
DTD. Stands for Daughter Teaches Dad.
And what was the first episode that you talked about?
I taught you how to make slime.
I watched that episode too. I watched it. It was good.
So you watched that episode. What happened to the table in the episode?
Well, the glue was too heavy for the table, so the table fell over.
There was slime everywhere. I just got new furniture. It was all new furniture. It was pretty funny. But we took a trip to Boston, and we went to Slime Fest. What happened at the Slime Fest?
Well, there was a bunch of tables with like famous slime shops, and you could buy their slimes, and it was really fun. Like there was a DJ, and he was throwing a bunch of slime stuff out. Like if you were dancing really good.
And we had the opportunity to meet the lady that put this whole thing on, and she said she made I want to say it was under her daughter's name, but they made probably $20,000 in one day for that slime, and they had it for 2 days. So, yeah. So the Palmer Perspective Slime Fest is coming.
Slime, cuz, can you hear this? Slime.
Off of slime. That's crazy. So what's the fascination with slime? Why? Don't say it's satisfying. What is it about slime that you like?
I don't know. I just like making it. I don't know. It's really weird.
Now, mind you, they took over my garage. You know, they have a slimatorium in there right now. So, actually, for the parents out there, the reason why I let my kids do it is a lot of science in slime. I mean, and how they figure out how to mix certain things and what kind of slimes are there? Butter slime. What else we got?
Thick slime, clear slime, glossy slime, crunchy slime, and there's oobleck. It's not really a slime.
What's that like saying?
No, it's like it's a solid when like you touch it fast, and then it's a liquid if you just hold it in your hands. And I actually made that in school once.
Really? Huh. What's your favorite slime?
Petty slime. You should come up with the petty slime.
Coming out with some petty slime.
You pick it up. It's all.
What's your favorite slime?
I think it's glossy slime.
Glossy slime. So again, parents out there, what I try to do with my kids is just if they have an interest in something, we go out there, we try to make it happen for them. For parents out there, I believe that my greatest investment is my children. So anything education wise or anything that they want to do, I'll try to, me and my wife try to make it happen. We spend a lot of money on sports and activities, but they also understand that they got to get their schoolwork done. We're at the point now where my daughter actually just, she will ask, excuse me, if I will check her homework. Like, I never check her homework. It's always done, but she has a question.
You're a doctor now.
Yeah, I'm a doctor.
So you're qualified to check homework.
Yes,
Before that, she was like, I don't know if you know how to do this stuff.
Right. But we have a milestone in the family, too. My youngest one was in the tag program. She made it, and then Symone made the gifted and talent program for
GT. Okay.
So she got her work cut out for her, and it's not something that... I don't want people to think that like we push them. Like we push them to the point where we see what they can do. But at the end of the day, they're going to get the work done themselves. But it's all about creating those routines and creating those habits in them early and supporting them. If you have a kid that's interested in business, why are you waiting? Start something there.
And that's what's interesting. Even when I talk to parents that I work with, and they tell me that their son or daughter may be interested in something, and I'm like, so why are we not feeding that passion? Because if you continue to ignore it, now what happens is that the kid's going to find other interests, and the other interests you may not like because it's going to bring around friends that you may not like.
The other side of it is if you don't feed it, somebody's going to tell them that they can't do that. So what happens is a lot of these kids, think about it, when you were growing up, a lot of them will say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer or an astronaut. Somewhere along the line, someone killed that dream for them because the parent didn't feed it. The kid decided, well, I'm not going to do that, and now they're struggling to find out what it is that they're going to do. So I'm a big advocate for whatever my kids are interested in. Then all right, let's make it happen. I hate cheerleading. I hate it with a passion. It's not a sport.
Coming up too. You got to start with August 1st.
When's
I think it's August 10th. No, August 25th.
That's late.
Yeah, it is late, but
I think you got to have your routines down by then. That's late. I think you guys start like the first week of August.
We just tried out like a month ago.
So they got that going on. She's also playing soccer at the same time and gift program. We just want to see what she can do and push it. But I will say this: cheerleading is difficult. I can't do it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a sport, but.
It's difficult.
It has brought out my daughters.
You getting emotional?
Yeah, she's getting emotional.
Like
a tear. I see a tear coming down. Were you a cheerleader?
I was not a cheerleader, but I do think it's a sport.
Why?
It involves.
Did they get heckled?
Heckled?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Meaning that fans criticize them. Hey,
Yes.
pitcher got a rubber arm.
Yes.
What, the cheerleaders?
Yes.
What
If
do
they don't hold right, if you don't stunt
The base?
correctly, yes.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
So make sure I understand this. So while they're doing the routines,
People are watching and videoing.
people are yelling at them, hoping that they fail.
No. They're not
Yeah, but
hoping
what
that they fall, but if they fall, they're going to look and see who messed up there.
So why is this a sport? By the way, let's go here. Why is cheerleading a sport?
Why is it not a sport?
No, you can't. You got to answer the question first.
It involves, there's athleticism in it. There's days you have to go, you have to practice, you have to work out, you have to do a routine.
Out of stuff, aren't you?
No, it's just it's choreographed, just like football's choreographed, isn't it?
No.
Yes, it is. Those plays
You
are
gotta have instincts.
but it's also choreographed.
Yeah,
and in cheerleading, you have to have
decide
instincts
you're gonna run
too.
through the hole if you want to.
No.
You might be there waiting on you get smashed. Like, you know what? I should have left. I should have went to the right.
Well, cheerleading's the same. If someone's falling, you have to move to the left or to the right to catch them.
Nice
It's a
ball.
very difficult competition. I will give you that. But for me to classify it as a sport, I
You have
can't.
concession
I can't go
stands.
there.
How about that?
They do have
They do have
concession
concessions.
stands.
No, I've been to the cheerleading things, and all the times that I go, the concession stand is not the same or equal when you go to a sporting event.
You didn't go to the right cheerleading.
I was at the Wildwood Convention Center. I went to the one at Egg Harbor Township High School. I was somewhere up in Philadelphia. I traveled the world for this little cheerleading thing, and it's not fun. You sit there all day.
For 3 minutes.
Yes, and then they perform, and then you gotta wait
And wait.
and wait until they have the award ceremony. And God forbid if it's All Star 1 is going to be there, because now All Star 1 got like 5,000 kids. You have nothing.
You really hate cheerleading.
Hate.
Hate's a really strong word.
Yeah, it's a strong word.
Can you get scholarships with cheerleading?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can get scholarships for being good at algebra too.
Yes.
But
it's different.
It's not a sport.
Well, it's not labeled as a sport.
It's okay.
Well, what do you think is a sport?
For me, I think it comes down to how it's scored. If it's objective scoring, meaning the ball goes to the net, it's a point. If it's subjective scoring, I have an issue with that. Because we all three of us can sit here and say something different. I can say that's a 1.2. You'd be like, that's a 10 and that's a 7. Who wins? At the end of the day, it's subjective.
It's like a slam dunk contest.
Yeah. It's contest. It's a contest.
You don't know what a slam dunk contest
I
is?
do know what that is, but I do think it's a sport.
It's okay. You can be wrong. It's okay.
I told her all year she was wrong. I used to bust in the classroom during lunchtime with my group. Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. So let's get back to the classroom.
Yes, sir.
The school year is about to come in a couple of weeks. And in terms of parents, how can parents prepare their kids for the upcoming school year from your perspective as a teacher?
I can start as my perspective as a parent.
Oh, let's do that.
Okay.
Because you got to jump in on this because you're a parent now.
Yes.
Yeah.
My children read. They follow routines in the summer. There's lax time, there's family time, there's sports time, but then there's reading time, and there's get work done in the house time.
Hear that? No.
Get work done in the
Get
house.
Right.
done.
We have summer homework that they have to work on every day.
I cannot do that.
You have to get it done.
See, I'm light on you. We take it easy on you. But we ask you to read, of course.
The hardest thing I do during the summer is my summer reading. Like right now, I really don't like my summer reading book.
Why don't you like? You don't like reading, or you don't like the book?
I don't like the book. Like I like comic books. I feel like from elementary school, you should be able to have a comic book as your summer reading.
Coming from the elementary school, so it's important for you to read something that you're interested in.
Hey, why don't we assign them books that they like? Like, I've been trying to get people to read Iceberg Slim forever. Him and Donald Cummings.
I don't think that's school appropriate.
Okay, I'm not even going to comment on that about all the stuff that happens in school. But here's the
That's true.
I remember that when my cousin, he introduced me to Donald Goins. Right? So I really weren't a big fan of reading. But my interest in Donald Goins took me to other authors. And I ended with like Cornel West and Travis Smiley and reading their books. But I think that, like Symone said, that you have to have a strong interest. And if you do, now what happens is that can transfer to other different types of genres. But if you want me to read a book that you picked out for me in my free time, I'm probably not going to read it. That's like when the superintendent says, hey, here's a book on PLCs for the summer. Read this.
I got you. The other thing, too, is you need to model it for your kids. Like, our kids see us reading all the time. And I think that's why, you know, they'll pick it up and start reading themselves. So
What are you reading?
Right now, I'm actually reading, it's called Enlighten. It was a requirement that my daughter has to read to go into Rutgers, so I wanted to read it with her. It's very interesting.
You want to write this too?
No, but I want to read the book with her so that we can talk about it, and then she invited me to go watch the authors coming to the college and speak, and he's going to speak to all of the incoming freshmen about the book. So I'm going to go with her. So I want to be prepared.
What's the last book you read?
Me?
Yeah.
Last book, you talking from cover to cover, or you talking about read a couple pages? Read a couple pages and keep moving. I read like 4 pages of Outliers the other day.
That was it.
I put it down. Yeah.
I got you.
So what you got, cuz? You got a new baby girl?
Baby boy. Actually.
It's a boy?
Yeah, it's a boy.
He does look just like you. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So my son, he's only 1 year old. So we read.
You sure it's a boy? It's a boy like you?
It's a boy.
Why did I think you had a girl?
The man knows what he had.
Sometimes you do. And sometimes you
Yeah, he
don't.
was born. I mean,
Sometimes you do. Sometimes they put an okie doke on you, and you think you get one, and you get another.
it's funny you say that because my father-in-law at our gender reveal or our baby shower, he actually bought him all girls stuff.
I'm telling you.
It's funny.
Somebody thought you had a girl. Go ahead.
Everybody thought he was a girl, but back to reading. So we read them books and little like Sam I Am, all that kind of stuff. Type
Dr.
stuff.
Seuss.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So it's very important even at a young age like that.
I mean, the kids are born with a blank slate. So depending on what you feed them is what they end up kind of turning into.
So you said I wasn't born petty?
No, you definitely was not born petty. He wasn't born petty. Somewhere along the line, somebody taught you how to be petty. I don't know what happened, but it did. I'm trying to think. The last books I read Common's new book, something about love. I can't remember the title. And I also read Lamar Odom's book.
Really? Odom got a book?
Yeah, he has a book, and surprisingly, it was pretty good considering it wasn't about the situation with the Kardashian thing. I mean, that was the end of the book, but it was more about it was a lot of mental health things, and for people that are athletes and going through being recognized and getting scholarships and all the pressures that come along with that, alongside with losing key family members, and no one addresses the mental health aspect of all of that. And you just expect them to go out there and perform and do things, and you're really dealing with a lot of demons. And then what happened with him, it just kind of spiraled out of control at some point. So that book was pretty decent. Common spoke about the concept of love. And it was a really interesting perspective because he starts out talking about his daughter. And he was talking about being a father. And not necessarily he was a bad father, but his daughter called him one night in the middle of the night, upset with him. Like, you wasn't there for me as much as you, because he's touring and doing all this stuff. So then he started going on this journey of just trying to figure out what that term love really meant in terms of with his relationship with his daughter, and then that bled into other areas as well. So I highly recommend those 2 books. The third book I would highly recommend is the Hate You Give, which is a movie. So there's a lot of discussion online about that as well, especially educators. I think it's really important for you to read that book. Not because of the police brutality that's in it, but the fact that the young lady had to do this concept called code switching. So when you can't really be who you really are in the classroom, and then you go to the community, you got to be somebody different. And then you go to home, you basically have 3 or 4 different personalities based upon it. And a lot of my research talked about code switching. So that
let me ask this, because you're talking about code switching. Why are teachers held to a different standard than any other profession? Think about it. So we have like lawyers and judges, right? When they're not in their profession and they're out in the community, they can pretty much do whatever they want. When you have police officers, firemen, like first responders, I have really close friends that are first responders. I don't hang out with them because it becomes dangerous
for them. I think it goes with the fact that you are with somebody's child through their entire life. For the term teacher, you know what I mean? There's an adult that's in this child's life. You're in that child's life more than the parents are when it comes down to hours and minutes and stuff. So I think the expectations is that you're always going to be in teacher mode, whether you're in a community, whether you're in a classroom.
So why don't pay us then for working 24 hours a day?
That comes down to American values and the concept of
we value you in public, but not at the bank.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it comes down to capitalism, right? The system operates on winners and losers. Somebody has to lose in order for the system to work correctly. So you set up an educational system based upon grades and competition. Somebody's got to lose at some particular point in time. And I think it all that stuff kind of blends together where we're not going to, yes, you're important, but the system itself is, I need a loser. So I need to really keep you at a certain, I can't put you in this pedestal because you have too much power. I need you to sort of cultivate some losers in there somehow in order for the system to maintain itself.
But when you talk about the system is rigged because you have certain people that are going through, let's say that they had a death in the family, but you still need to come to school and perform. Right, you have domestic violence in your house, but you need to still go to school and perform. You ain't had dinner in 4 days, but you know what? You still need to go to school and perform. Yeah, I know you don't have clean clothes, but you know what? And you smell funny, but you still need to go to school and you need to perform. Yeah, I know that you have a haircut, but guess what? You still need to go to school and perform. Meanwhile, when you have other people that don't have all those, that's called potholes, they still go and they still perform and they excel. But then the so-called people that we're looking at that were hoping to be able to overcome a whole lot of barriers, they have difficulty because this is where the mental health comes in, the pressure.
Yeah, and the system, like I said earlier, the school system is not a reflection of real life, right? So, for example, let's take something real small. You fail a test. Most times, teacher...
He failed the test. I'm failing. He failed the test.
Somebody at this table.
That ain't going to be me. We're not going to include me with no kind of failure. No.
Somebody failed the test. The teacher's going to say you can't take that test over. But how many times in life have you failed at something and society has been giving you multiple? Like, what we teach them in school is not what happens out in... I call it fantasy land. We teach this fantasy world, but what happens out there is not the same thing that happens inside of the school system. The system, I don't know, I'm kind of frustrated with it because I've seen both sides of the fence as a teacher and now as an administrator, and I see the disservice that's happening. I see the fact that it's a rat race to get through a curriculum where you got kids that are coming in with all these issues. I see all that, and then
let's because this was something that I worked on before the end of the school year. So I can't bring up the student's name, but the student, used to ride a bike to school, right? And I remember listening to you, and you was like, I just don't feel that it's fair for me to have to give her a disciplinary action when all she was trying to do was to get to school.
Come back to school.
Yes.
Come back
so that right there just really talks about I guess I want to say the controversy of are we always acting in the best interest of kids? So like this girl, and I seen a potential in her even in 6th grade. I'm like, listen, if you're able to get through this particular hurdle, like you're going to be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be great. I agree. Yeah, for me it's a struggle. Because, like I said, I got to work within the system, but the human side of me saying, I know what this kid needs, but I can't provide it for you because the system's telling me not to provide it for you. And that's a huge struggle with me on a daily basis. And part of my job is suspending kids. And if I know I'm sending you back to an environment that's unhealthy for you, I listen, I'll take it on the chin. I'll get slapped on the wrist all the time. No, I'm not suspending you. You're going to spend whatever. I'm going to find some other alternative. But then I have teachers that'll get upset because I didn't suspend them and all then other parent and all that stuff. So I eat a lot of that stuff all the time. But I know that I'm not sending this kid back to a safe environment, so I do it. I think we talk about this term of educating the whole child, right? And we're not coming close to that in education whatsoever, because the part of the child that exists outside of those 4 walls, we're not addressing that situation. And to me, if you get to that point and address that, the classroom's going to take care of itself. And the kid's going to want to be there. They're going to, and then you find stuff that they're engaged in and stuff like that. These kids are really, really intelligent. Like I said, they're born with a blank slate. But whether the system's doing it, whether it's an outside person doing it, somewhere somebody's feeding them something anti to who they are. And then this is where we start to see certain things fall apart.
Can I ask one question on that topic? How I don't know how to word this, but how good is the relationship between teacher, parent, administrative parents?
It varies.
It varies. Depends on what school. It depends on the community. It depends on a lot of things. One of the things that I try to do as an administrator is, one, I have to build a relationship with my staff. So I do things like adventure clubs and have meetings outside of school and stuff. But I also encourage them to go into the community. Like you need to go see where these kids live. You need to know what they're about. You can't teach something that you don't know. So you have to go to these areas and figure those things out. And again, it's a battle of the system thing. I can't require my teachers to go out and do it. So there's some that will do it, and there's some that won't do it. And and then you're still stuck with, that situation. So to me, I think that the whole concept of
Well, it's
being
looked at
educated,
as a team,
it's supposed to be. And there's this belief that in the education community that if you build it, parents and everybody will come, right? So you have these events, and then you get mad because 5 parents show up. Right. Meanwhile, you have a community, number one, that is looking at the school system as anti, right? So you have to build that relationship up. You have to go to them. They're not going to come to you. You know what I mean? Once you repair that, and it's a historical battle, especially within the black community, in terms of any establishment. Their experiences, they may have bad school experience, and historically there's been issues like, of course I'm not going to go to somebody who I think is technically the enemy, right? So I have to go to them and visit the churches, visit the community organizations, go out there, find the Miss Jones that is the matriarch of the community, and sit down with them and have conversations with them. That's how you start to build those. Once they see the school as an asset, then they'll start to come. Then they'll start to do those things. But the way that we're doing things is, to me, is backwards. It's backwards.
So in most cases, a teacher's career is about 25 years.
Okay.
Right. So if you come in, let's say you in 2nd grade, by the time you have a child, right, your child's possibility is going to be in that teacher's classroom. So if me and you don't hit it off, now what happens is that when your son or daughter comes into my classroom, we're already at odds because we have this hatred for each other of what we had in 2nd grade. So now you go home and your mom is going to be feeding you all this bad information about what type of person I am. I'm going to go home and I'm going to be telling, my family about what type of person you and your family is. So now what happens is that there's never going to be a mending of that situation. And that child is going to be turned off from 2nd grade all the way because they had one bad experience. And really all it takes is one bad experience with the teacher. And that's ballgame.
But you can have the flip side too, because I have teachers and parents that say, I want this teacher because my other child went through and had a great experience with them and those things of that nature, because that teacher did all what I talked about. The problem is that there's not a consistency. When
I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Say it.
We had 3 years ago. I have to go back before I can't go tell you. Well, 4 years ago. We had a teacher, had like 4 kids in their classroom. And people were upset. 4 kids all day. No, you had like 4 kids all day. That's how the numbers worked out.
That's it.
The teacher's like, yo. Other teachers like, I got 27 kids. My kids, you got 4. That's how it was going down.
Yeah.
So, but again, when
everywhere.
But teachers, and like Ms. Robert said, that first interaction that you had is going to be the deciding factor, whether it's going to be a good 180 or a bad 180. And if you have a bad 180, like we said when we were down in our presentation, you're going to be going to liquor store every day.
Every day.
Because the kids going to come to school just to get at you.
Mess with you. Yeah, that's true. That is so true. I don't know. To me, education is 90% relationship building and 10% ABCs. Right. You know what I mean? So if I can reach a kid, I can get them to do anything that I want them to do. But I think the perception of school is, well, you need to learn math, you need to learn all these things. To me, I can care less with what they learn. 1 + 1 is 2. But you want to enjoy coming to school and you feel like I can help you in some way, I can get you 1 + 1. But I'm not going to get there if you don't like me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, and as an administrator, it's, you talk about having 4 kids in the class or 26 in the class. I got 900 kids in the building. You know what I'm saying? So those are 900 relationships and their parents I gotta try to develop. And you're not gonna win them all because everyone has different perceptions of different things. But I try to pride myself on making a relationship with the kids. So what are some of the things that you do in your classroom to build relationships with your students?
I try to find times outside of teaching time where kids feel comfortable enough to come and talk to me. So homeroom is a big time where I have kids that are able to stop in and come and see me and talk about what happened the night before, or what sports they did the night before, or what happened at home the night before, and then once we get through all of that, when it's time for class, then they're ready to come in and learn, because I've taken the time to listen to them first.
Gotcha. Symone, who's your favorite teacher? I already know, but the world needs to know.
My second grade teacher.
Who? What's his name? Shout him out.
Mr. Seavis.
Mr. Seavis. Why does Mr. Seavis your favorite teacher?
He was funny, and in first grade I was really shy, and he got me like now that I had him, like I'm like I can talk more and.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been on his podcast back then. Now you might know. It's awesome. But that just goes to show you it's not about the content, right? So for her, it's like, that's my favorite teacher because, one, I felt safe and felt like he enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process. And now I can go on and do certain things. And he part of the reason why she's not shy anymore. Now she won't shut up, but it's all good, though. But, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's relationship building, and that's 99% of the battle as a teacher is that. Let's go into why you chose to go into education. What was that, and why did you choose this career?
I actually, when I first went to college, I started off majoring in nursing, and then I realized that it wasn't for me. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to make an impact, but I didn't know how I needed to make that impact, and I thought nursing and working with different people, that would be a good way to meet different people, but it didn't work out. So I thought about it for a while, and I went into the education field, and I really loved it. I didn't graduate with anything in special ed, but I got hired in special ed, and I went back and got my master's in special ed because I found that I loved it that much.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Let's go back, because I'm on this chat with a bunch of teachers, and then some of them, now's the time people are getting hired or not getting hired. Talk about that process of getting a job as a teacher. Like, what were some of the things that the interview, like, what could a new teacher expect in these interviews?
When I went for my interview in Egg Harbor Township, because I was interviewing against teachers that were special ed qualified and I wasn't, I knew that there was no way in the world that I was going to get hired. So I went into the interview, and I wasn't even nervous because I knew that there was no way. So I went in with my portfolio, and I talked the whole time. I talked about my experience in Pleasantville. I talked about the relationships that I formed with my students and the teachers and the administrators, and I just sort of talked my way through it. And the next day I got a phone call, and they were like, that was the best interview we've had in a long time. Would you be willing to go back and get special ed certified?
And I was talking to a lady today, or chatting with her, and she didn't get the job or whatever, and she was upset and pissed off about it. She was like, well, I told them how I would do my classroom and the stuff, the way I would teach. I said, you went in with the wrong perception. Like I said, it's relationship building. And I said, you have to establish how you're going to form those relationships, but also it's a culture and climate thing. Like, are you, as an administrator, and I interview people all the time, like, are you a good fit for not only the school, but the teachers you're also going to be working with? So that's a big piece of it, too. But I don't know. Some people go into interviews nervous. They go in there, like, to me, it's as much as an interview for me as it is for school. Like, I have to make a decision, well, do I want to work here or not? And there was a couple of interviews, I wish I could have got up after the second question because I knew I couldn't work with it. But I just stuck through it and sucked it up. But there's a whole lot we can talk about with interviews. But as far as being a teacher and going in, like, I can teach you how to teach. I can't teach you how to be passionate about people.
And I heard that.
Like kids.
I've heard those in my education class, and I heard the exact same statement. I can teach you. I can't teach you. I can teach you how to teach, but I can't teach you how to work with the kids and interact with the students.
Absolutely. Fun stuff. Summer's coming to an end. You looking forward to going to school? No? We got some. Actually, it's not coming to an end. We still got more than a month left of summer. We got to get that reading done, though.
I know, but, like, I feel like I just don't want to read. And I'm very nervous for school.
Why?
Like, because I got into tag honors class, and then I'm going to a whole new building.
Middle school? What's your biggest concern about going to middle school?
Say, like, switching classes, and, like, I feel like I'm afraid that I won't make it to 6th grade.
Can I give you some suggestions? First person that looked at you wrong, just smack them.
Smack.
No.
Or tell Jay to smack.
Day one. Day one. You got to set the tone early. You got to smack them.
Don't do that.
Also, I'm afraid that I
No
won't.
afraid.
Like,
No fear.
like I want to be with my old friends. Like I want to be in the same class. And if we're not in the same class, cause like I feel like one of my friends, she's moving away. Well, she might to North Carolina, and I might not be able to see her again.
Road trip.
FaceTime.
FaceTime, yes.
No, your dad has money. A flight.
And he'll pay for it. That's awesome. Well, even still, like her biggest fear is social stuff, emotional stuff, not necessarily academic stuff. So I think, educators, we need to pay way more attention to the social emotional aspect of what we do, more so than trying to get through a curriculum.
It's tough because we have this stuff that we have to teach them. And if we spend more time, look, even in today's time, our children are spending more time in social type activities than they do on academic. Then they don't take a break from the social activities. It's 24/7.
I got you.
I got to be with them. They got to talk to them. I got to see what they're doing. I got to follow them on Twitter or Snapchat. No, you don't. Just turn the phone off.
Turn it off.
Sometimes my battery just goes dead. I mean,
You turn it off on purpose. What's the difference? Nah, but
you got to break away from that. Sometimes you have to spend time with yourself and get to know
yourself. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
But that really plays into like the social emotional, because if you're not connected with you, now what happens is that you become connected with someone else, and now you start to mimic them. You start to dress like them. You start to talk like them. To the fact where you're no longer you. So you're not even setting yourself apart because you're so busy trying to blend in. No, sometimes you got to stand back and be you.
Be you, and it's okay to walk away from certain things and leave certain friends behind and things of that nature. Because, like you said, if you don't like yourself, nobody's gonna like you.
I have one student that the entire building is afraid of. She always wants to fight. Why? Because she smacks my early.
Damn. That's it.
Everybody's afraid of her now. Like, can you talk to her? Like, why can't you talk to her?
Yeah.
She may get mad at me. You're an adult. Why are you scared of a kid?
That is too funny. Interesting. So you got kids going to college? Is your oldest going to college?
My oldest is going to college.
And how do you feel about this as a parent?
I'm excited for her.
Really?
Yes, I'm super. I did what I needed to do,
She's
and
moving in with her.
I'm going to college too with her. It's okay. I'm excited for her. We've talked about it. She had a rough last year of high school. She did all of that stuff that we usually do during high school. She waited for the very end. She got it all out, and she learned a lot from it, and I learned a lot from it as a parent, and I'm excited for the future. We talk all the time about, this is the beginning, this is you and yourself and what you're going to do as an adult. So I'm really proud of her. I'm happy for her.
You're probably the first parent that I've talked to that is excited that their kid's going off to college. Everyone else is crying. Oh, no, you stayed old. I'm trying to get this one to go away already. She want to go to rowing. I'm like, no, go to California. Hawaii sounds nice.
Sign this paper. I know it says community college, but sign it now. I'm gonna get you registered.
No, but that's another thing too. Like, we talk about college in our family. Like, it's now an expectation, and I know everyone's not built for it, but even still, having those types of conversations at an early age is important. So they know about college. They know what it's about. They know that someday that they're going to go. And
well, here's my thing when it comes to that. I think that even though we put emphasis that everybody should go to college, because it gives you those years at 18 to 22. Those years are so crucial in your development. The friends that you make from 18 to 22 become your friends that you're going to be with forever.
Yes.
And the biggest thing in college, to me, is networking. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't learn anything new in college that I didn't already know in high school. But we had on season 2, my brother with he had people like who was his what's the guy, Tesla guy?
Oh, I know you're talking about what is his name? Elon or something like that?
Elon Musk. So he was in the classroom with him. The owner of And1 was in the class with him. Like, he went to the school with all these people. But he didn't have the ability to network with them because no one taught him how to do that. So the people that you go to college with is more of an asset once you start networking, because they're going to get a job, they're going to go out and do certain things, and you can start working with them. So that's what I learned the most about college, and finding myself as an individual and being on my own and having to do my laundry, and I can't call my mom, and I could, but she wasn't coming up there to rescue me. Like, I had to figure it out. So it is definitely, to me, again, not academics. It's more social, emotional, and mental stuff, and it prepared me for going out and getting a job and living on my own. It was the best 4 years of my life. I would go back right now.
Right now? Start over?
At 43, I would go right now, live in a dorm, and have fun with it. But
you take a dorm over an apartment?
Yeah, I'm going grimy. I'm going grimy. I spent 3 years. We called it the Peabody Projects because it was the oldest dorm in there, and it was this. I spent 3 years in there. The best 3 years ever.
You don't want to live down Center City?
No. I'm living in a dorm. Yeah. With a roommate. Yeah, from California. That's funny. You ready for a roommate?
Yeah. It depends on who. Like,
I'm gonna be your roommate. Daddy moved in.
Go back to school?
It was a movie.
Back to School?
Yeah, Back to School. No. Mommy to be your roommate? No. You take Daddy over mine.
No, I do not want anyone who I'm related to be my roommate. Especially that lives in the same house as me right now.
I'm taking that personal.
I don't even think it's directed towards you. I think it's directed to the sister. That's what I think it is. I don't want you around me anymore. I'm trying to get away.
You're already roommates for the most part.
Well,
y'all
I'm
sleep in the
trying
same
to kick her out.
You trying?
Like, I have my own room and my own space, but she is in there 24/7.
It's called the younger sister. Welcome. You're the older sister. She's always going to be following you for the rest of your life. So enjoy it, embrace it like you have. We also are trying to plan a big podcast on some social issues in terms of the black community and police. Meek Mill's documentary is coming out, and we're going to watch that and have a podcast discussing that topic and some things that are affecting our community for sure. Some other things in the works. We're going to have a community day in my old neighborhood. I just had a meeting the other day where we're going to go back and block off the street and have a little block party for people back in my neighborhood. We're going to have podcasts out there to let the world know about that. And hopefully that should be the end of me filming my documentary. And that'll be coming out once I get that edited and things of that nature. Our financial literacy program, don't forget that, under our Empowerment Youth series. So any schools that are interested in the organization are interested, make sure you hit us up at theempowermentperspective.com. So we got to teach kids about money. It's really, really important.
I like money. I like spending money.
You like spending money. My kids are now earning allowance. And what are you saving your money for?
For a new phone.
A new phone?
Yeah,
what kind of phone are you planning to buy?
The same phone I have, but
it's not working right now.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Oh.
But teaching them the value of money and work and getting those things together. About a year ago, I know we talked about it on a radio show. I had to actually do a proposal for our friend's birthday party. So it's little stuff like that to teach them about money. Another thing I would advise parents to do is to start portfolios if you can for your kids. They have more money than I have right now, so they're actually investing in things. I haven't taught them yet how to move money. They know the basic concept of it, but these are some things that you can do. And I'm not talking about a whole lot of money. Like if you can afford $10 a month to put in their portfolio, then you do that. Set up an E-Trade account and learn money and teach them how money can make money for them. You know what I mean?
And residual income.
Right, and all that stuff. The other piece, speaking of finances, is have multiple revenue streams. I always tell people that Nike don't just sell sneakers. They sell a bunch of different things. So your family unit if you're looking at generating money, don't just look at one avenue. Yes, I am a vice principal. That's just one way that I generate money. But there's other avenues that I generate money for my family. And those are things that we're trying to teach our kids at this particular point, and saving and spending wisely and all that stuff.
A good book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yes.
It's a really good book and he has a teenage version as well that, it really simplifies, the money and being able to spend and make sure you're spending it wisely. So use it as a tool versus, something else you just want to have in your pocket.
Absolutely. The information is out there. You guys know what to do. This is a matter of doing it at the end of the day. I want to close by, I do have to take a personal story. I meant to say this a little bit earlier. I'm in this space right now, like if someone helps me, I at least say thank you to that person. This is a polite thing to do. I'm in this space right now. I've gotten so many people jobs and helped them out with certain things. And lately, probably about 4 or 5 people that I've helped didn't say thank you. And I'm feeling a little bit personal, like, getting a little angry about it. Like, and I know I should be giving and not expecting anything in return. I'm not asking for a gift. It's like, yo, thanks. Good looking out. One of those things, but I feel like some people just feel like they're entitled to certain things. But at the end of the day, if I didn't make that phone call, if I didn't write whatever I wrote for you, you probably would not have had that job. So should I be taking that personal when somebody doesn't say thank you?
It's tough because I know you go out your way, you try to help as much as possible. I'm not even too sure if that person or persons even know that that's something that they're supposed to do. So you can only take it personal when you know that someone knows better and they're supposed to do better. But if you don't know, how am I, like, even when I had to go another petty move, like, okay, you didn't know that I was coming, you didn't know my name's supposed to be on the badge, but now you know. So when I show up now, you got to make sure that my name is spelled correctly.
Yeah, it makes sense. The other thing is, don't ask for help when you really want somebody else to do it for you. That's another big thing that I've been going through lately. Like, people asking me for help, I will give you help. I'm not going to give you the answer that you want me to tell you. I'm going to tell you what I think will help you at the end of the day. And I'm not going to bail you out. I'm not going to, do things that at the end of the day you're not going to learn how to fend for yourself from. So at the end of the day, say thank you to people. Where thank you it goes a long way. And be appreciative of those people that do step out and help you. And if you ask for help, be willing to put in the work for it too.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. So, Ms. Roberts, we thank you for being on the show. Wasn't that bad, was it?
No, not too bad.
And welcome.
See that?
Welcome to the group.
Thank you.
So you have the itinerary. So you have, like, we're going to San Antonio.
Okay.
Then we're in Atlanta.
Wonderful.
And then Vegas and anything else that pops up.
Amen.
And Saturday podcast.
Okay.
Calendar's full.
The calendar is filling up. Do you understand what you're going to get yourself into? But I think you have a lot to offer people. You have a kind heart, big heart, and I think that, we could do some wonderful things with the Empowerment Perspective Group. We're looking for a strong female that's going to tame him down a little bit, be the balance a little bit of the pettiness. But no, I think you definitely, the information that you gave us for Atlanta was definitely useful. And I think you have a voice that needs to be heard. So if you're willing to be a part of this thing, we're definitely welcome you aboard. We do things a little differently though. So you know.
I see.
Yeah,
no paper, no notes anywhere.
Nothing. And he might call me and be like, "Yo, we got to go do a podcast over here." And we just
like we in Mount. Look, I'm in Mount Auburn. Once you guys just come on out, do podcast.
No doubt. But thank you for spending some time with us. And I don't know if you want to shout out your sister's place.
Yes, Elsie's in Haddon Township. Pickle sandwiches.
Pickle sandwiches.
Pickle sandwiches.
What do you think about a pickle sandwich?
It doesn't sound that fast.
You would love it.
What's the location of it?
It's 803 White Horse Pike in Haddon Township.
Make sure you go to Haddon Township. You can go see Miss Roberts down there and you see how tall she really is in person. Get some pickle sandwiches. So shout out to them. I heard some big things in the future for them. We're not going to let the cat out of the bag right now, but they're doing some wonderful things down there. So again, support your local businesses. If you're in Jersey, make sure you check them out. Pickle sandwiches.
Yeah.
New thing. I might have
No
to-
bread.
No bread.
Bread. I ain't eating bread lately, so that might be a good
We
thing.
love it.
That's awesome. So season 3 off to a good start, and then hopefully, you might see it somewhere big. I ain't gonna say where yet, but somewhere big. So until next time, stay empowered.